Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today, based on the readings of the 14th Sunday in Ordinary Time, we will explore together a theme. Pain speaks of seeking love. Have you ever thought of pain as a friend? Probably not. All of us want to avoid this uncomfortable feeling. But do you know, in reality, pain is a silent guardian extremely important for our health. That's right, pain is a warning signal. It's like an alarm bell ringing. Hey, something's wrong here. This bell urges us to stop, to check, and to find timely treatment. To understand better, let's imagine a person with diabetes whose feet have lost sensation, a small scratch, a blister, but they don't notice it because there's no pain. They ignore it, and then the consequences are dire. The wound becomes infected, turns gangrenous, and eventually requires ambulation of a body part. Frightening, isn't it? This medical story shows that however uncomfortable it may be, pain is still a necessary defense mechanism, a gift that helps us survive. And just like the body or soul, community and social life also have their pains, sorrows, conflicts, injustices. There can be signs that something needs to be healed. In this context, St. Paul, in his letter to the Galatians, today says something truly remarkable. May I never boast of anything except the cross of our Lord Jesus Christ. The cross, the pinnacle of suffering, becomes a source of pride. Why is that? Because it is through the cross, through the acceptance of suffering with love, that salvation and new life are poured out. In today's Gospel, Jesus sends out 72 disciples. He never promised them a path covered with roses. On the contrary, he said, I am sending you out like lambs among wolves. The journey of proclaiming the gospel is filled with thorns, challenges, and rejection. But these very pains, these difficulties, these tensions are signs that the world is thirsting for the gospel. They show that there are wounds that need to be soothed, souls that need to be healed. And amid that pain, God does not abandon us. As the prophet Isaiah says, He is gentle like a mother comforting her child. You will be nursed with the mother's milk, carried at her side, and bounce on her knees. He doesn't eliminate all suffering with a miracle, but He sends us, you and me, to accompany, to heal, to bring hope. You and I are being sent into this world, a world where there are still wounds that remain silent. The poor forgotten on the margins of society. Do you feel the ache in your heart? Young people lost without direction. Do you feel troubled? The elderly lonely in their own homes. Does it cause you distress? The environment crying for help every day. Can you hear it? If we ignore, if we don't feel pain in the face of these realities, could it be that our conscience has lost its sensitivity? But if you feel a pang, feel heartache, even just a little, then congratulations. That is the sign of love rising up. That is the sign that God is inviting you. Therefore, do not fear pain. Do not avoid difficulties. Listen to their voices. Let them become the motivation for you to act, to heal, starting with yourself, your family, your community, and spreading to society. Be like the disciples of old, courageously setting forth. Bring peace to places of unrest. Bring light to places of darkness. Bring love to places in need of healing. Because, like St. Paul, when we dare to love, dare to commit, dare to suffer for the gospel, we are bearing in our bodies the marks of Jesus. These are not just marks of suffering, but also the glorious imprint of a love that has triumphed. Thank you all for listening. May you have a Sunday filled with holy grace and a new week with the courage to listen to the voice of pain in order to love and to serve. May God bless all of us.